Hey, creative people, welcome to the vibe. I love blueberries. This is Juanine here, your creative alignment coach. I'm coming to you with a pep talk about family. Now, stick with me because we're going to be on for a really fun ride while I explain to you this concept that came to me while I was driving today about family. And when we are creating with intention, how to do that. Okay, so I have this color wheel that I made here. Lots of different colors, different perspectives, right? So you have the family of yellows, the family of oranges and reds and pinks, and each family here. And then as you branch out, they're mixing with colors that are compatible with them. But the only way you can know if it's actually compatible or not is one, you can sense it, you can feel it, but you have to know the color. You have to get to know that scheme. That's what I want to talk about today regarding family and being a creator. Okay? You ready? Are you with me still? Cool. I'm glad. So, when it comes to being a creator, I'd like to offer you this thought to consider and how we breed families. Okay? Not many people breed intentionally. And I am using that word on purpose because after experience, I'm a mother of one right now. I definitely plan to have future children with the kingdom mate that is strong enough to handle all that I have to offer. So when I think about that, when I'm thinking about the type of person that would be a perfect mate for me to breed children with, I have to know what my color schemes are, and I have to know if it's compatible with that kingdom mate's color schemes. But if I'm not intentional and I just start mixing random colors, I might end up with mud. Okay? And even when I branch out into more of an idea that's not just directly related to physical children, if I branch out and I think about it when I'm talking about my art or even energetically, let's just kind of stay on this line, right? Of being a creator. If I just lay down with some random person, my energy, because my energy is very pure, I eat clean, I think clean, I'm clean in every sense of the word, okay? Because I'm intentional and I think about it. And if I try to mix my energy with an unclean energy that's not of the same scheme, okay? Now, I'm not saying that energy is bad energy. That's an energy that is good for someone who's of that scheme, okay? But if my scheme is over here, I need to be mixing with something that is compatible with what is in that scheme. And the only way I can know that is because I've gotten to know who I am. I have taken time to really get to know who I am, what I want, what I desire. I'm very clear about all of that. And from what I know about my colors, what is a compatible color scheme with that? And it goes as far as to every single category of life, really. Like today's message is about family. But when I think about my mind, my body, my spirit, family, like today we're talking about my business and how I rest, I need it to be compatible. I need to have things that spark my mental capacity in a compatible manner, that I don't have to force it, but it makes me excited to think about. It turns me on to think about it, right? I need the same thing with my body. I work on my body. Is my body where it's going to be in 10 years? No, because I'm only getting better every single year. It's not. But it's better than it was last year. And today is better than it was even 2 months ago or 3 months ago because I'm constantly working on it. And when I'm in a scheme of colors or energy or vibrations or frequency, or when I am intentional about that, that becomes my major vibration. So if, let's say, the vibration that is my natural vibration is a yellow vibration, let's just say that, okay? I have to wake up and I have to intentionally make sure that I'm aligning with yellow vibrations every single day, or a vibration that is within that color scheme. Because when you think about yellow, it branches. There are different variations of yellow, right? A whole lot of different variations. And before I start trying to mix my color with this other color, like purple, they mix, they're compatible. But before I can even know that they're compatible, I need to know the range of my own frequency. And that's the message really that I want to talk to you about today. When you're creating, to be a creator, it's more than just music. It's more than just your writings. It's more than just a painting. It's more than just creating a beautiful landscape. Being a creator means that you are creating in every moment. And to be an intentional creator, that means you are intending to create with purpose in every moment. We're aware of what we're doing. We're aware of what we're eating. We're aware of what we're seeing and what we're putting into our gates. Okay? Because what we put in comes out. When someone invests in me, they're going to get a product produced from that, right? In relationships, this is family still that we're talking about, you have different roles and responsibilities. It's not all the same, right? Like from my perspective, if I'm single, I'm a provider. But if I'm not single, I am not the provider of finances. Okay? That's from my perspective. Because what I provide is different. I provide spiritual expertise. I provide alignment. I provide nurturing and care and a peaceful home. I provide so much. I provide so much intelligence. I provide a sword that sharpens, right? But I know what my range is. I know that when I start, if I'm in a relationship and I have to provide the finances and I have to pay the bills in that relationship, it takes me out of range of my frequency. And then what happens is I become something that I'm not, and then I start looking like a different color that doesn't really match the vibe that I'm created to dominantly vibe in. Okay? So this is the same thing with you. Whatever your range is. So like for me to create in the most powerful way in relationships, I need to be within range. I need to stay within my range check. Okay? And so in order to do that, that takes experience, that takes knowledge, that takes living for me to know that that is my range, right? So you have to know what your range is when it comes to relationships, when it comes to parenting, when it comes to physical pleasures, okay? You have to know what your range is. And it takes time to know that range. If you haven't taken time to know that range, you may not be ready to commit to whatever is in that category, right? If you don't know your range in relationships, you might not be ready for a long-term commitment in relationships because there's going to be a hiccup down the road when you do discover your range. And when you discover your range, you might be a green. You might discover your range as a green and someone else is over here, and really you guys end up kind of canceling each other out because there's not enough variation in your compatibility and it kind of turns a little muddy. But if you know, once you've taken some time to know this is your range and you have something that's compatible like this, then you can mix properly. But if you haven't taken time to know your range, play. That's when you play, okay? That's when you play around because you're figuring out your range. I know my ranges. And when I elevate to a new level, my ranges do change. But I have to be in an environment that is built to support the elevation of ranges. And I want you to take on this same mindset if you feel resonance with it. Is get to know your ranges when it comes to creating? What is your family of creating when you're making art right now? Do you know your range? Do you know your range? If you don't know your range in the music, specific, like we can even talk about vocal ranges when it comes to music. I'm still stretching my range now. Like I'm where my range was 20 years ago, it was different. My range right now is a different place because I haven't been practicing that frequency vibrant enough, right? So my range is different, but I do know my range. So when I'm ready to mix and I'm trying to create something musically, I've been practicing my range in secret. I've been practicing how to get better in secret behind the scenes before I'm trying to mix and match with anything or anybody with no music in my kitchen, in the shower. I'm practicing my range. That's practicing vibrating strongly in that frequency. And so once I know my range, then I can mix and I can make a family out of that. I can make a family of collections within that range. And as we evolve, our colors evolve, right? Especially when we mix with different energies. When yellow mixes with purple, it turns into a different color. So it's not always just going to strictly be in the range of yellow, but there is a progression to it. It's like a natural initiation into vibrating higher and into different frequencies. When you do it like this, it's a little bit easier to slide into different type of creative portals without feeling stuck or shattered. Even when it comes to sliding in, I'll ground this a little bit. It's easier to slide into different relationships with different things that you're creating in. Whether it's a relationship with another individual, another creator, when it's time to shift frequencies, it won't be as hard because you've been in a crescendo, learning your range of frequencies. But sometimes when we're trying to hack into another family of frequencies that is not a match for us, when it shifts and it shows the truth of where you are and where that frequency is, it seems like a big jolt in life. And it's like, oh, what the hello, helicopter? This hurts so bad. But that's because that was actually a frequency you were never supposed to be in. And you were like holding on to what all the disdain in your heart, really, because it wasn't what you wanted. And so when things are in alignment and you're in your vibrational family of frequencies, even when it doesn't work out the way you want it to, it's a smooth transition. It's a much more smooth transition. And sometimes we have to break away and just completely jump out of all the colors, go to a black and white 0-point energy space, and then find where you are in your color frequency all over again. That's a restart, refresh, okay? I know that was a lot, but because you all are high vibrating creators, I know you got what you were supposed to get out of it. I know this because we're aligned, okay? So this is what I have to say about family. Take it with where it is supposed to sit with you and your reality right now. It's abstract on purpose so that I can reach more creators with the message that you're supposed to have, okay? You need to be clear on what family looks like for you as a creator and whatever way you're creating family, okay? Whether that's in a new collection of art or a new collection of human beings, okay? Be intentional and protective about your frequencies and the range that supports that for where you're at and what you're creating and how you're mixing that. Because when you make mud, it's not very easy to separate. Most times you got to wash it all clean and start over. Okay, that's all I have for now. So now I can eat another blueberry so I don't got blueberries in my mouth the whole time. I love blueberries. And trail mix is like one of my favorite snacks. Until next time, no matter what you do or how you do it, be authentic.